Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the sixth day of National Webinar Series, Bhaishja Pharmotech 2020, Passion of Research, Compassion for Quality. Myself, Dr. Prasanna Mathur, Professor and HOD Department of Agat Tantra, Parle Institute of Ayurveda and Research. Welcome you all. I welcome today's guest speaker, Dr. Hardik Soni sir, the Senior Manager, Vasu Research. I welcome Dr. Hemant Toshikhane sir, the Dean Faculty of Ayurveda, and Dr. B.G. Kulkarni sir, the Principal, Parle Institute of Ayurveda and Research, Vadodara. Ayurveda is an ancient science of medicine which has developed gradually with the civilization. It's merely based on the experiences gained by the ancient Vaidyas. They had manufacturing process protocols according to the available resources and facility in that time under the supervision of Guru or a Vaidya. There was a strong tradition of Guru Shishya Parampara. This chain of transfer of practical experience and knowledge has made Ayurveda since what is today. In ancient guidelines of quality control were developed for manufacturers of these medicines by deciding the factors like origin, the time of collection, parts used, specification of procedure, size, shape, etc., which are very difficult to follow by the manufacturers due to commercial compulsions. That's why the situation has resulted in the production of substandard Ayurvedic medicines. To meet the quality of product, to assure a safety of patients and give more scientific validation, it is very necessary to know what are the quality control and in-process quality control regarding the Ayush medicines. Today with us, Dr. Hardik Soni sir, who is the Senior Manager R&D, the Vasu Research Center, a division of Vasu Healthcare. Sir is an gold medalist in B Pharma Ayurveda and M Pharma Ayurveda, and Sir has completed PhD from Gujarat Ayurveda University. Sir is having excellence of 11 years of experience in the herbal, Ayurveda, cosmetic and nutraceutical drug research. The Sir has conducted more than 80 toxicity studies, 40 preclinical studies and 30 clinical trials. The Sir has published having the 50 plus international research publication, and he guided and mentored 45 research students and 20 plus scientific lectures are delivered. Today, Sir is with us to deliver a talk on quality control and in-process quality control of Ayurvedic drugs. Hardik Soni, sir.
Good morning all, and thank you Dr. Prasanna ji to introduce myself and for the nice introductions about the Ayurveda and Ayurvedic practice and the collection of herbs and what we have mentioned in our Ayurveda. First of all, I want to thankful to the Parle Institute of Ayurveda and Research, Parle University, Dr. B.G. Kulkarni, Principal and Dean of the Institutes, Dr. Hemanta, Dr. Prasanna and other faculty members for inviting me for such a good webinar and such a good thoughts on quality control and the in-process quality control of Ayurvedic drugs. My dear research scholars, it is very important about the quality. Today we will discuss about the what industrial scenario is about the quality control, what we are doing in the industry and what is the routine practice about to maintain the quality of our Ayurvedic drugs. Before to start and jump over to the direct quality control, I have some points to brief you about the different topics of our Ayurvedic drugs. So now we will start with my presentations. I have prepared some small presentations for you. I hope you can understand my communications by the one-way communications. If you have any query, and then you can put up later on. I will try my best to justify your queries. Now I am going to share my screen. Hello friends, today we will discuss about the quality control. So before start to the quality control, it is very essential and necessary to understand Okay, what is the basic difference between the Ayurvedic medicine and the herbal medicine? Most of the peoples are confused between these two terms. We commonly judge that the Ayurvedic medicine is also called as a herbal medicine, but no, there is some basic fundamental difference in both the things. If you
Sir,
if you yeah.
just 1 minute, sir. There is some technical issues. Just 1 minute. We'll start again. If you don't, just
Okay.
1 minute.
Yeah.
There is some clarity issue.
Sir, we are live, sir. We are live.
Yes, sir. You can continue, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, all. Now we will start with our presentations, and today's my topic is to brief you about the quality control and in-process quality control of Ayurvedic drugs. So today we will discuss more or less about what our ancient says about the Ayurvedic practice and what about the quality of the medicinal plants and finished products, and we will try to interpret it in our modern technical tools so we can correlate our Ayurvedic concepts with the modern tools. So I will try to compile all the things in my presentations. So we will start with my presentations. But before jumping into the quality control aspect, I think we have to get more clarity about the Ayurvedic drugs and the herbal drug concepts. So we will start with it. And yes, more or less, commonly people are misunderstand with these two terms, Ayurvedic medicine and herbal medicine. So first, I want to make clarity about these two terms, what Ayurvedic medicine stands for and what herbal medicines. So Ayurvedic medicines hold as a fundamental of Ayurvedic medicines can be found in Vedas that we all know. And when we talk about the herbal medicine, that is a generalized term which is the types of the herbal medicine which is spring from the different cultures around the world. So it can be a Western medicines, or it can be a Chinese medicine, Japanese medicine, or Korean traditional medicine. It can be. And but obvious, the Ayurvedic medicine is the tradition system of India and the Indian system of medicine. Ayurvedic medicine is the part of the broad terminology of herbal medicines. When we are talking about the herbal medicine, then it compiles Ayurveda, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and all. And when we are specifying that this is the Ayurvedic medicine, then we are talking about our Indian system of medicines. So this is the basic fundamental clarity about these two terms and the difference. Now we will discuss about the healthcare services. What is before in the day and what is now, what is in the ancient. So we all know people that the patient before in the centuries ago, the treatment aspect and the healthcare aspect is the patient focused or customized design. So Vaidyas are used to make their medicines by their own, and they collect medicines from the forest and from the cultivated sources, and they used to prepare by their own selves and delivering the medicines to the patients. So all the quality control measures, safety measures, and the efficacy measures were controlled by the Vaidyas. And what is the scenario of the recent scenario? In the recent globe, we have to deal with the number of patients and the number of people. So drug manufacturing goes to the industrial aspects. So day by day, herbal drug industries are more popularized, and all medicines are prepared by the pharmaceutical industries. Now, Vaidyas are only dealing with the treatment aspects and the prescription aspects only. So what happened? Now quality, safety and efficacy goes to the pharmaceutical industrial scopes. So it is very essential in the recent scenario that what quality Vaidyas are prescribing, what products Vaidyas are prescribing has to be as per the quality, safety aspect and the efficacy aspect. So it means it is the standard, it should be a standardized medicine. Now we have to understand what is the different segment of the herbal drugs, because as you know that herbal drugs is not only dealing with the Ayurvedic medicines or proprietary medicines. There is a different segments which I have mentioned over here. First one, we will talk about the ASU drugs. What is ASU drugs? Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs. So when we are talking about the Ayurvedic drugs, there is two different segments in the Ayurvedic drugs. One is the classical Ayurvedic medicine, which comes under the section 3A of Drug and Cosmetic Act, and another one is the proprietary medicine, which goes to the section 3H. Again, in the subsections of the 3H, there is the different divisions of the proprietary medicine. One is the Balya Poshak, positive health promoter drugs like Chyawanprash and Rasayanic drugs. Second one is the Saundarya Prasadak, and third one is the Aushad Gan, that we called as a medicinal plant extracts. Apart from the Ayurvedic drugs, market is very much cluttered with the nutraceutical products also. Herbal supplement is there. Phytopharmaceutical concept is upcoming, and herbal cosmetics we are looking in the markets. So this is the all different segments of the industries, and when we are dealing with these different segments, the quality tools used for the evaluations of the products is definitely going to be different by the segment of the industry. So it is very essential to understand the each and every segment of the industry before starting with the quality aspects. Okay, so this is the ASU drugs about. So classical medicines, what we call the classical medicines. So the ingredients, the compositions, which was already provided by our ancient saints in our ancient books like Charak Samhita, Susrut Samhita, Sarandar Samhita. So it is called as a classical medicine. We cannot do any changes in the ratio or in the quantity or in the formulations. We have to be prepared the medicine as per the mention in the text only. Example is Trifla Chun is there, Mahasudarshan Ganpati, Chyawanprash. This is called as a classical medicine. Another segment is the patent or proprietary medicine. Proprietary medicine is totally based on the research and the experience of the proprietor. So proprietor is going to be prepare their blend and the combination of their drugs by their experience or by doing the various research on the medicinal plants. So again, proprietary medicine is classified in the three segments, like a Balya Poshaks drugs, we can say nutritive drugs. Herbal granules available in the market is called in the Balya Poshak. Saundarya Prasadak, we can say it as a herbal cosmetic products. And Aushad Gan is again classified as a plant extract based formulation. Nutraceutical. Now trend is more fortified in the segments with the nutraceuticals. Nutraceutical segment is going to be more popular nowadays. So what we call as a nutraceuticals, so the product which is going to be delivered for the consumer for the is routine essential nutritional supplements is called as a nutraceuticals. So this is the some of the example. We have one product called Monton DQ, which contains a Cissus quadrangularis hard jode as one of the herbal ingredients, and another one is the calcium carbonate, Sukti Bhasma, and vitamin D3. The combination of these three is delivered as a nutritional supplements for the consumer who have less calcium or who have a prone to be osteoporosis. Such type of formulation is used for the preventive aspect as a medicine.
Sir, slides are not visible.
It is visible or not?
No, sir. Just we are hearing you. We are waiting for slide sharing.
Just a minute. Now it is visible? Hello? Yeah. Dr. Prasanna, now it is visible to you?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Yeah. Sorry for inconvenience. I have skipped more 2 or 3 slides, but not an issues. This is my slides. This is the ASU drugs. We want to convey that the triflachune is there, is called as a Ayurvedic drugs and classical drugs. Some of the example of proprietary medicine in my slides. And this one is the example of nutraceuticals. You can see in the image that the Monton DQ tablet, one of our formulation is combined in the 3 different segments. Calcium is there, Cissus quadrangularis is there, and the vitamin D3 combination is called as a nutraceutical segments. Herbal supplement, what we call as a herbal supplements. So individual drugs on the combination of different herbal drugs as called as a herbal supplements. Example is moringa. So moringa having the good nutritional value and drumstick having so many minerals and the vitamins which can be delivered by the leaves of the moringa oleifera. So this is the trend in the US and also upcoming in the Indian consumer also. Okay, people are more or less attractive about the preventive concept and the preventive aspects. So such type of formulation is used under the FSSAI license for the food supplement or the herbal supplement. Then phytopharmaceutical. This is another concept of the medicines or the drugs that highly concentrated extracts can be used and combined as a proprietary medicine is called as a phytopharmaceutical. This is not comes under the Ministry of Ayush, but this is involved by the DCGI, Drug Commissioner Authority of India. So this is basically the concept of modern pharmaceuticals by which they can introduce their products in the herbal segments also. We all know that Vinca rosea is the herbal drug, Sadabahar, but vincristine, the isolated form from the Vinca rosea, is a converted molecule of the modern medicine. So this is the phytopharmaceutical concept. This is the upcoming concept. Then the herbal cosmetics. So Saundarya Prasadak, we can say in the Ayurvedic terms. So more or less now safety aspect for the cosmetic is very important. So people are prone with the more or less chemical based cosmetic products, and now aspect and ratio towards the herbal cosmetic products. So now more or less many consumers are appealing about the herbal ingredient based products. So this is the trend, and this is the different segments of the herbal drug industry. So this is very important to understand that for each and individual dosage form or the segment, the quality parameter and the quality testing parameter is different. We have to understand the dosage form first to jump into the quality evaluation of the products. For such an example, for nutraceutical products or the food products, if we are taking a judgment of the burger, so there is no number of parameters to evaluate the quality of the burger. That is, we have to just check if the taste is compatible or not, the food is more microbial free or not. So there is 2 or 3 parameters is applicable for the food products. Likewise, cosmetic products. So cosmetic products, there is not necessary to evaluate the each and every active constituents of your molecules, but there is a more or less physical parameter is more important in the cosmetic products rather than the chemical parameters. So this is the different variations how we can choose the quality parameter for the dosage form wise. Now we will discuss about the quality aspect. So what is quality control? So quality control is a part of good manufacturing practice concerned with the sampling, testing and approval as well as rejection of the materials. Materials means anything. It is either a raw material, it is either an intermediate products, it is either a finished product or it is either a packaging material. It is anything. So quality applies to the every phase. So it is the process to evaluate your sample. It is either as per your requirement or is as per your specification or it is not. So this is the generalized definitions for the quality control aspects. Quality, why it is required, why quality is required. So we all know that key standard products and the standard manufacturing is very essential to maintain the safety as well as efficacy of the products. When we are manufacturing in the large number of scale, then it is necessary to maintain batch to batch variation. It is necessary to maintain quality of products in batch to batch, and we can able to deliver the same efficacy by different number of batches. So quality control is required. Nowadays, India is booming for the export of Ayurvedic drugs. So in the export, different countries have the different regulations, or they cannot able to understand our Ayurvedic concept of collections, Ayurvedic concept of quality evaluation parameters. So we have to be precise for modern techniques and the modern tools, that how can we evaluate our products as per the modern quality parameters. So this is essential. Then it is very essential to comply with the increasing regulatory norms. My friends, as you know, in the domestic also, we are coming up with the WHO GMP and GMP norms. So when we are dealing with the WHO GMP norms, then it is very essential to come up and regularize our products with the requirement of the government guidelines. So it is the one of the scope why we have to evaluate the quality of the drugs. Then restore the glory of our Ayurvedic medicine. Now, where quality control is applicable. Quality control is applicable to the 3 segments. I have divided. One is the raw material is there. Second one is the intermediate products. And third one is the finished products. So by these 3 ways, we can evaluate our quality of the products. Okay. And now come up with our classical concept and the classical thoughts regarding the quality of our raw materials. So what our Charaka says, Charak emphasized that an ideal drug should available abundantly, that we call term as a Bahuta. Then Yogyatvam, that means must be eligible for medicament. Then it is mentioned that should be available in various form, Aneka Vid Kalpana. Then it should be process all qualities, matlab Sampada. Then this is the terminology which was mentioned in the Charak Samhita at that time, and they have already mentioned that the quality of drug, it should be collected in proper season, should be rich with manifested of rust and various, the potency should be there, should not be nibbled by the birds or free from wounds, or should not be affected with the wind, temperature, and it should be free from the disease. So this is the criteria which our ancient Vedas and ancient Rishis mentioned in the Samhita. So this is the collection practice which they are using at that time. They have also mentioned that how to collect the raw material in the container. What is the criteria for the appropriate container to collect the raw material inside this? So they have mentioned that which are free from contamination like water, smoke, dust, pollen grains, should be protected from the raids and quadrants. So these all are mentioned in the Charak Samhita. So quality aspect is not a recent tools or not a recent fundamental criteria. But as I understand, our Ayurvedic concept and Ayurvedic books, there was already mentioned our quality parameter by or less in the different terms. So by these terms, Vaidyas are going to evaluate the quality of raw material by themselves. But what happened? Collection practice are changing. Nowadays, we require moringa throughout the year. We require ashwagandha throughout the year. We require yashtimadu throughout the year. In such situation, there is a variation in nature. There is a variation in collection of time. There is a variation in the place. We have to collect drugs from the around the India or outside from the India also. So at that time, what you can do? You have to maintain the quality of drugs, but by which parameter you can evaluate the quality of your drugs. So for that and to comply with the regulatory norms, we have to take a help of modern analytical tools. But I will, in the next slide, I will try to correlate our modern analytical tools with our Ayurvedic concept also. So you can correlate our both the concepts in the common platform. Okay, and this is the quality control of raw materials. So what our Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India told about how to evaluate the quality of your raw material by which different parameters. So this is the sum of the parameters I have listed out. The organoleptic parameter, that is called color, taste, texture and all. Pharmacognostical study is there to identify the drug. Foreign matter, loss on drying, total ash, acid insoluble ash, water soluble extractive, alcohol soluble extractive, TLC. Then some of these specific chemical parameter is there to identify the active constituent of the or potency of the drug. That is the assay of major active constituents like Kalme, Andrographis paniculata, having the active content of andrographol. So we can quantify the andrographol by the different means of quality tools like HPLC or by HPDLC or by the gravimetric or somewhat assay. Then another important parameter is to evaluate the contamination study, contaminants. That is, a microbial contamination is there, heavy metal contaminations may be there, aflatoxins contaminations, or pesticide residual contamination. So this is the very important to evaluate contaminants of your raw materials also. So this is the common parameter which was applicable to the raw materials. I have here I have compiled one certificate of analysis. What the essential parameter should be for the COA of your raw material. So it should be like a different segment wise. First one is the physical taste. So physical taste must be include color, odor, and taste. Very important identifications of raw material. Identifications of raw material by means of TLC, because what TLC gives us is gives us a fingerprinting of raw material. So you can develop a fingerprinting profile and develop a library of raw material and compare batch to batch raw material with your reference standard. So TLC is a very important tools for the identifications of your raw material. Then goes to the chemical taste. So this is the some of the group of compound assays there, like saponin. You can do the saponin assay, flavonoid assay, triterpenoids, alkaloids. It is the assay, chemical constituents quantification. pH we can do. Loss on drying, it indicates the moisture content of your raw material. Here is the some of the results. Taste method is there. So each and every parameter has to be appropriate method of analysis also to get the consistent results on batch to batch. Total ash is there. Then contaminant study, like heavy metal study. So lead, cadmium, arsenic, and mercury is for most essential heavy metals, which can be tested out for our raw material as well as finished product also. This is the permissible limit as per the Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India. Then microbial taste. So total plate count, total fungal count. Then 4 pathogen, E. coli, Pseudomonas, Staphylococcus and Salmonella. It should be absent in any of the raw material as well as any of the finished products. So this is needs to be evaluated. If your raw material is contaminated with such microbial pathogens, then it definitely reflect on your finished products, and your finished product will be going to microbial contaminated and going to be failed and does not comply with your quality parameters. So it is no mean to take a raw material bypassing with the microbial parameter or heavy metal contaminant studies. Okay. Yes. Now come up with the intermediate products. So what is the different parameters useful to evaluate the intermediate products? First of all, we have to understand what is the intermediate and what is the in-process material. Example, with the tablet, we will talk about the tablet. When we are going to prepare a tablet, what is the different stage of the preparation of the tablet? First one, we will collect our raw herbs. We will do it the powdering process. Okay. After prepare a powder, we will do the blend of the particular formulations by the cone mixture or by the ribbon mixture. We mix all the powders properly. After mixing, if required, we can do the granulations of the tablet. Okay. After doing the granulations, we move forward with the compression part. So tablet compression is going to be there, and after tablet compressions, it's going to be tablet coating. You can see in the market the different tablets are in the different color, like in the pink color, sky blue color, blue color, orange color. So the coating procedures will be there. Okay. So there is a 4 or 5 different steps is there, and in between there is a very essential to evaluate your intermediate quality control tools by assessment or take a judgment of your quality parameters. Example, when we are preparing the granules from the powders, if we do not check the mesh size or sieve size of our granules, if we do not check the moisture content of our granules, so it directly reflect on the finished product quality parameters. If moisture is high, then there is a more or more chances to get microbial contaminations in the finished products. If moisture is high, they may affect on the disintegration, on dissolutions time of the tablet. So this is the minor physical parameters, but it is very essential for the products. And if moisture is high, then your coating may be not a proper, because due to high moisture it liberates the water and your coating material may be washed out. Okay, so this is the common parameter which you have to evaluate during the process of your formulations. So this is called as an intermediate evaluatory process parameter that we call a IPQC, in process quality control tools. Okay, likewise here is the cream. Okay, so pH and viscosity is very essential during the manufacturing of the cream, because you all know the cream is made up from the 2 different phases. One is the water phase and another one is the oil phase or lipid phase. So when we are mixing oil phase and the water phase, there is emulsion. Emulsification is done. So during the emulsifications, there is necessary to check the consistency and the pH of your cream during the manufacturing of your drugs. So this type. When the dosage form is changing, your parameter is changing, but in process quality control is very essential. If you are in process, when you are able to get your quality of your in process material, you are going to be more confident that your finished products is going to be well quality based products and well standardized. And if any contamination or if any troubleshootings will be there, you can able to recorrect or rectify the problem at the time of your process only. Otherwise, what happened? You have completed your process, you have evaluated your raw material, and you have prepared a formulation. In between, you have not checked any parameter, and you have just completed your formulation and come up with the finished products. And you will check the parameter for your finished products. So, some of the time, what happened in the finished products? There may be an issue of hardness. There may be an issue of microbial contamination, or there may be an issue of the heavy metal contamination. It may be due to the manufacturing process. If someone has done a manufacturing or the granulation with the open hand, or without the washing their hand, then what happened? The microbial contamination directly comes with the formulations. So this is the important parameter. Now come up with the finished products. Quality control parameters for the finished products. It is totally dependent on the dosage form of your products. I again want to say that it is totally dependent on the dosage form of your products. Which type of dosage form you have to evaluate for the quality. Likewise, you have to select the quality tools or the quality parameters. Example, here is the some of the example. ERK is there, Chuna is there, Basma is there, tablet, capsule, ointment, granules or syrup. More or less protocol for testing of our ASU medicine is mentioning all the protocol by the dosage form by. So you can get a reference from that. So now talk with the quality parameter as per the dose. Quath, example of Quath. So what is the classical parameter to evaluate the quality of our Quath formulation? So here is the indication, Gata Rasvatva, which means the raw material which you are using for the preparation of the decoction or a Quath, it should become a devoid of taste, which means devoid of taste, which means all the content, all the extraction portions, it has to be done during the procedure of the preparation of Quath. And if we compare with the modern tools, Gata Rasvatvam is more or less equivalent to water soluble extractive value or alcohol soluble extractive value. So it represents, if we can able to get the idea about the water soluble extractive value of our raw material, then we can able to judge that our formulations more or less 60% or 70% extraction is needed for preparation of decoction. Likewise, churn, Sukshmatva is a one of the parameter. Okay, so the particle size, it is mentioned in our classics. Okay, churn should be sukshma as possible. Okay, so the powder size in the modern tools, we are evaluating the particle size by the means of different sieve or the particle analyzer. Likewise, Avale and Sneh. In Avale, Tantumatva. So consistency of your Avale is very essential of consistency of thread, which correlate with the viscosity and consistency of the modern parameter. Okay. In the Sneh, we can discuss in the Sneh portion that Varivat Sneha Kalka or Sabdahino Agni Nishitpa. So these two parameters indicates about the moisture content of your finished products. Okay, if there is any moisture content in your finished products of the oil, then it will give us a crackling sound on the fire. So you can able to understand what our classic says. It correlate and compare with our modern tools. So our classics has already mentioned and already took a control of all quality aspects. But now it is a time to correlate with the modern aspects, and we have to represent our quality aspect of our formulation in comparison to classics as well as the modern perspective. Okay. Gandh Varna Rasotpati, by means we can evaluate the organoleptic parameters of the formulation, odor, color or taste. Likewise, this is another example of Basma and Rasakalpana. So this is the modern parameter I have mentioned in the first 1 to 6. That is organoleptic parameter. Then identification of taste. Identification by means, example, Sukti Basma is there. Then we can quantify the calcium content from the Sukti Plasma, how much elemental calcium will be there, and what is the total calcium carbonate content in the Basma is there. Okay, so this is the chemical assay method to identification of the formulation. Particle size, it is also essential. So particle size is correlated with the Rekha Purnatvam. Okay, Varitar and Rekha Purnatvam represent the particle size. Okay, Varitar also represent the LOD, moisture content of your formulations. If there is a moisture is higher in your formulation, then it definitely goes into the deep into the water quickly. Okay, then total ash, acid insoluble ash, water soluble ash, then compound characterization and elemental assay like the iron assay, calcium assay. So what mercurial assay, mercury from the rust for preparations, sulfur assay. So this is the different type of parameters that you can choose based on your dosage form and the type of your formulation. Now we will discuss one by one with the specific formulation type. This is another one of the example for ASA Varisht and all. So this is the common parameter I have compiled over here that you have to follow for such type of formulation. That is organoleptic, pH, LOD, identification, specific gravity, heavy metal, microbial contamination, then pesticide and aflatoxin. This is the common one. Now we have to discuss one by one parameter in the brief to choose how to choose the parameter for the dosage form. So I will brief you in the later on in the different slides. And this is the COA what I have compiled over here for your just example. Okay, such type of certificate of analysis commonly we are using to take a judgment of the quality of finished product as well as the raw material. Okay, this is an example of capsule products. So here is the weight of filled capsule is there, weight of 20 empty capsule is there. So evaluation of the variation, weight of net content is also evaluated, average net content, bulk density is important. When we are going to fill a particular capsule, then if your bulk density is very less, then actual content cannot be accommodated in the zero size of capsule. So you have to switch over with the capsule size, or we have to take a actually bulk content, you have to increase the bulk content of the raw material. This is a different contamination parameter and chemical parameters can be covered in the evaluation of finished product COA. Now, we can discuss one by one parameter, organoleptic and macroscopic. So nowadays, organoleptic and macroscopic parameters can be analyzed by the color analyzer because human to human or man to man variations will be there. So analyzed validation is a very important thing. Otherwise, one person will judge a color differently, and another one person can judge a different color by their reasons. So the variations for color analyzer may be happen. So for that, we are using color analyzer tools. Texture analyzer is there. By the means of texture analyzer, we can able to identify the surface or the texture of the formulations. So this can be used for the organoleptic evaluation. Identification. Pharmacognostical tools and microscopic analysis or microscopic sectioning. It is very important for the identification of the drug. By the means of LS or longitudinal section or the transverse sections, we can evaluate the plant is proper or not, the species which we are using is appropriate or not. We are using the proper species. If we have to choose a Ocimum sanctum or Ocimum bacillum is there or Ocimum sanctum is there. So we can identify by means of the pharmacognostic which species is there and which is the particular part of the species. Okay. This is the COA, or you can say a compilation report of the evaluation by pharmacognostic. This is the example of ashwagandha. Okay, industry are more or less using the powder of ashwagandha or extract of ashwagandha. When you are using the powder and we are procuring the powder from the different traders or the different suppliers, then you can evaluate your samples by this means. Here I have taken normal shade photography of the powder. This is called as a creamish yellow color normal shade ashwagandha powder. This report transferred to the quality control team by the R&D that -5% variation seems to be like that. Okay, this color seems to be creamy yellow. We called as a creamy yellow. This is a 3 different shade of creamy yellow color in the powder. But what is the variation in the creamy yellow color? This is the visual impact we can evaluate, -5% and +5% variation. So by this image, quality control analyst can able to identify the variation of your powder, physical variations of your powder sample. Okay. In the bottom line, I have included powder microscopy of the samples. So some of the characteristic features of the powder can be evaluated by the powder microscopy. So you can take a judgment based on the identical features of the raw herbs. And this is the reference which we have used. Okay, Indian herbal pharmacopoeia is there, so there is a different pharmacognostical method is mentioned. So by this means you can evaluate your raw material. Okay. Then come up with the physicochemical analysis. Now this is the very important. Physicochemical. Physical parameter we have already discussed. That is called as color, odor, taste, and texture. But chemical. In chemical parameter, two things is there. One is the qualitative, and another is the quantitative. Qualitative represents about the quality of your products, and quantity means you can calculate or measure the active constituents from your raw material and finished products. This is the qualitative tools. TLC. So by means of thin layer chromatography, we can able to qualitatively identify the raw material. First one is Vidania somnifera. Once you have identified your raw material and kept as a reference standard, you can check your different batches with your reference standard and compare the fingerprinting of the both. If the fingerprinting is matching with your reference standard, then you can claim that the product is identically comply with your standard, so it is a identical products. Likewise, this is a different example of Sorrel caulifolia is there, Glycyrrhiza glabra is there. Okay. Then qualitative analysis. Now, if you have to quantify the material from your raw material or finished product, these tools can be used. This can be used qualitative purpose also and quantitative purpose also. I have here used for the qualitative. Okay, the fingerprinting of some of the oil compound should be matched with the standard drugs. So red line indicates the standard sample of provided by the R&D, and this is the different batch manufactured in 2017, 18, and 19. It should be matched. Each batch to batch variations can be nullified by quantification by these tools. This is quantitative analysis. Quantity means if you have to identify Satawarin form, this is the active content of the Asparagus racemosa, Satawarin. Then you have to use HPTLC or HPLC tools. By this means we can quantify our active constituents. Okay. Another example for quantitative analysis is HPLC. Here we have identified 6 ginger oil from the ginger extracts. So first graph is a 6 ginger oil, standard ginger oil graph, and second one is the ginger extract. So by this means, by calculating the area under the curve of the 6 ginger oil, by comparing this, we can calculate the percentage of the 6 ginger oil in the ginger powder or ginger extracts. Another example of gas chromatography. Gas chromatography is normally used to identify or quantify the content which is in the nature of volatile nature. Volatile nature compounds only can be identified by the GC. So camphor, menthol, methyl salicylate is a such type of compounds which having the volatile nature. So in our pain reliever formulation is there. Then in the pain reliever, most of the companies are using camphor and menthol and methyl salicylate. Methyl salicylate means Ganpuro oil. Okay, so in such formulation, if you want to identify and quantify the percentage of your camphor menthol and methyl salicylate, then you can use the gas chromatography tools. Now come up with the contamination studies or contaminants. Okay, so if you want to evaluate the heavy metal analysis, or intensively if you want to quantify the heavy metal. Example, first of all, I want to describe you regarding the quantification aspects. If I want to quantify calcium content by means of from the Sukti Basma, then I can take a help of AAS also. Okay, so I can identify calcium, elemental calcium by AAS, and I can also identify by the titrimetric method from also. Okay, so this tool, this machine, atomic absorption spectroscopometer or inductively coupled plasma mass spectrophotometer, ICP-MS, both can be used for the detection of heavy metal from the compounds or the samples. Okay, so our Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India gives us a permissible limit that your raw material as well as finished product should not be having higher value of lead, cadmium, mercury, or arsenic. So this is the limit that not more than 10% lead has to be present in your finished products. So you have to take care about that. This is the four metals which we have to devoid off from our formulations. Then pesticide residue analysis. If you want to evaluate pesticide residue, yeah, then GCMS, gas chromatography and mass spectroscopy can be helpful to you. And this is the different type of pesticides and their limits mentioned in the Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India. Microbial limit test. If you want to evaluate the MLT testings, then you can use the microbial test by MLT formulations. Topical limit is different, 10 raised to power 7 instead of 10 raised to power 5. But this is for the oral formulation. Okay. So 4 pathogen is necessary to evaluate, and it should be absent in your raw material as well as finished products. Okay. And likewise, you can take a judgment. Your product is a microbial free finished product, or is a contaminated with some yeast and mold and anything. Okay. Flash chromatography. This is the tools which is not directly helpful for the quantification, but by these tools we can isolate the phytomarkers from the raw materials. Example, andrographoloid is there. Here is the purity greater than 95%. So if you want to isolate pure compound from the raw material, to using is the different quality tools. We have already discussed about HPLC, GC, HPTLC. For those all instruments we require standard, one pure compound. In comparison to one pure compound, you can actually evaluate the quality of your finished products. Okay, so andrographoloid, curcumin, diazoxanine, this is all the pure compound you need to be required for each and every time of your quality control evaluations. So by flash chromatography, you can in-house isolate such compounds for your quality control tools. Okay. Now, packaging material is also a very important criteria. Okay, we already discussed that. Chirag has also mentioned the type of container should be in which type of appropriate container you have to fill your raw material finished products. Okay, so evaluation of packaging material is also important at the quality control level in the QC lab. So in quality control of packaging material, different type of parameters has to be taken measurement. Length, breadth and height of the your packaging material, density of your material, in which we can call the GSM. So it has to be proper board size that it can be able to take a load of your material. Color variation should not be there. Strength has to be proper, which can carry your material in the long time or up to the shelf life of your products. Leak test has to be measured. If any blister packing is there, then you have to check a leak test. Otherwise, there is any leakage in the packing, then moisture get easily absorbed into formulation, and your formulation going to be deteriorate, or oil is going to be peroxide in the meantime. Okay, so vibration test, when your material is manufactured in the Vadodara and you are supplying it into the Hyderabad or the Kanyakumari, or you are going to be export your formulations, then it has to be passed through the vibration test, because what happened, your material is going to be vibrate during the transportations, and during the transportation it has to get a different type of exposure of load. So during the transportations, your sample has to be adequate as per your precision specification. Then seal test is important. Trot test is important to check your cap is properly fitted or not. Then another important quality parameter is the stability of your products. Stability is a very essential, my friends, because what happens? Stability is directly correlated with your type of finished product as well as type of packaging material. If there is any lacuna in the finished product quality or any lacuna in the quality of your packaging material, then definitely your expiry, shelf life, or the stability of product going to be hampered or going to be affected. Okay, so stability study we can evaluate by the accelerated stability study, that is called as exposure to the higher temperature in comparison to real time temperature, that is 40-degree temperature, and high RH, relative humidity, 75% relative humidity. In these situations, we have to expose our products in the appropriate packaging material and the cap into the particular chamber. In the right side, I have posted the photographs of the chamber, so you can see the example. We have to put our products inside the chambers, and the chamber is set at the particular storage condition. Okay, so our products is withdrawn in the interval phase, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. We can withdraw the products and we can evaluate the different physical as well as chemical parameter, which we have already discussed for our products in the different interval phase. If your products is more or less not vary more than 10% or 20% or 15% in the different parameter at the end of the accelerated stability study of 6 months, then you can take a judgment that your product should be stable for the 2 years in the real-time condition. You have seen that each and every products having their storage condition on their label. Okay, keep the products in cool and dry place, free from moisture, keep away from the direct sunlight. So this is the storage condition mentioned on the products. So if your product is properly stored in the real conditions, that you can also take a judgment of real-time stability study of the 12 months. So this is the different stability study to evaluate the expiry date or shelf life of your products. Now this is, I think I have covered more or less all the quality parameter and quality aspect by the different slides, and now I have to convey you the one small presentation over here to guideline for the new product development. What is the how the proprietary medicine is developed and is passed on through the different stages. So this is the guideline for new product development, how we are developing the formulations, which is research-based formulations comes into the market. By this means you can able to get idea about the quality, safety and efficacy. Okay. So first one is the traditional text search. So it is very essential to get a traditional literature search before jumping to the any proprietary formulation. If you are developing or if you are preparing any classical formulation, then that is not an issue. So in the traditional text, there is everything is mentioned that you have to take this type of raw material, this much quantity, and you have to make a preparation method of preparation of formulation is like that. So for the traditional formulation, that is not an issue. But when you are going to be prepare your proprietary blend, then you have to make sure traditional search also, modern literature to identify the active constituent of your raw material. which raw material, which active constituent is responsible for the efficacy of the products. Okay, so by this literature, you can take idea of the active constituents and its efficacy. Then goes to the formulation and development trial stage. Then you have to identify the dosage from your formulation, in which dosage form you want to prepare your products, either in the tablet form, either in the ointment form. So feasibility and compatibility or compatibility of dosage form with respect to your ingredients and the raw materials. Okay. Then goes to the analytical and the microbiological study. It is very important. Once your formulation is ready or once your raw material is identified, it should be passed through the analytical tools and the microbial contamination tools. Then is passed on with the in vitro efficacy study simultaneously. Then stability study. If you want to evaluate the expiry and the stability of your products in appropriate packaging material, then stability study is very important. Then preclinical study, toxicity and efficacy on animal model can be judged by the preclinical study. Then product goes to the clinical study or clinical trial. If you will get a proper efficacy and safety in the preclinical model, then you have more confidence to go for the clinical trials. Okay, because clinical studies are more expensive. So we have to take a little bit idea before that either you have to go for that or not. So by the means of preclinical study, you get a clear-cut idea about the efficacy and safety of the products. After completion of clinical trials, product is moved forward to the FDA license applications from the state licensing authority. And after getting the license for the products, you can commercialize or you can manufacture your products and launch in the market. So to follow this roadmap, product around about 2 to 3 years timeline products required to pass on through the each and every stage of the development aspects. So you can understand that if someone has to place their products, proprietary products in the market, then they have to pass through this roadmap. If he or they want to make their products quality based, safe and efficacious. This is the 3 tools, essential tools for standardized products. If you want to make your product standardized, then you have to follow the roadmap or different quality parameter tools which we have discussed in my presentations. So this is the basic tools and modern techniques that can be incorporated to evaluate the quality, safety and efficacy of your formulations. I hope I have covered almost all the themes, but if you want to get more literature or more reference, you can refer some publications from these books. So this is the essential books that gives you a more idea about the quality of your Ayurvedic drugs, which protocol or which method you can use for the evaluation of finished drugs. So this is the different type of books which I have already mentioned here for your reference only. So in the conclusive remarks, we can say that the herbal drugs is more complex and more critical to evaluate. But if we can identify which parameter is essential, which active is essential for our study, by which means we can identify the different quality tools and we can identify our quality parameters for evaluation of finished products. And thank you very much all of you by hearing me in this webinar. And I hope I can able to convey my thoughts to these presentations. And if you have query and any questions, then you can put forward with me, so I can try to justify all your queries one by one. Thank you very much. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, sir. It is a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Prashant. Thank you very much.
Sir, there are some questions. So what are the mandatory analyses for herbal formulations?
Okay. Mandatory analysis.
Yes, sir. Herbal formulations,
Okay.
mandatory, which are compulsory to follow.
Okay. Yeah. If you look forward to the Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India or the any regulatory norms of the country, then essential parameters divided in the three phases. One is the physical parameter, second one is the chemical parameter, and third one is the contamination studies. Okay, contaminants we can say. So it may vary based on dosage form, but in commonly if we want to evaluate that, basic physical parameter needs to be evaluated like LOD, organoleptic, water soluble, alcohol soluble, then assay of the particular products is come to the chemical parameter, quantification of assay, then TLC is there, HPTLC is there. If we will talk about the contaminants, then microbial and heavy metal analysis. This is essential. And if you have a scope for evaluation of pesticide in aflatoxin, then it is good to be. Okay, so this is the common parameters generally people are doing for evaluations of quality of the finished products.
Okay, thank you, sir. What is called monographs and where we can get herbal monographs?
Okay, monographs is the thing that covers each and every aspect of the drugs. Okay, by example, if we discuss about the monograph of ashwagandha, Vidania somnifera. So monographs include everything, which includes the geographical availability of the drugs. So from which area ashwagandha is more probably grown or available. It includes the microscopy or pharmacognostical study of the particular drugs. It includes the different quality parameters of the drugs. It includes the availability of the geographical availability of the drugs. It includes safety profile. If someone has evaluated safety of ashwagandha by the means of different tools, then monograph is covered in the monograph has to include the safety profile also. Then experimental profile or efficacy studies or the clinical trials. It also comes to the monograph portion. In WHO monograph is there. World Health Organization's WHO has published 4 books, 4 volumes for monographs of herbal drugs. So you can see that in their monographs they have compiled this all information in monographs. In our Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India, also they have tried to cover more or less all the information in the individual raw material monographs. Okay, so you can refer such books to get it in the different information from the monographs.
Thank you, sir. Whether the fingerprints of plant varies from area to area or pharma to pharma, sir.
Maybe happen area to area. If the geographical variation will be there, then fingerprinting spots, active spots may be darker or lighter. But if species is common and species is identical, this is the Asparagus racemosus and no variation in the species, then fingerprinting should be matched. Either there is some spot lightations will be there, but it should be identical. And when we are going to quantify the active contents, geographical variations will be there. I have done one example in my R&D lab. We have collected curcuma longa from the Maharashtra, collected from Gujarat region, and collected from some of the MP's region, Maharashtra. And when we have quantified the curcumin content from all the 3 samples, then we come to know that the variation is there, geographical variation in the sample. So we got a higher percentage in the Maharashtra samples. Okay, Sangli samples we can say, and we can get this curcumin around about 2 to 2.5% curcumin content in our Gujarat-based samples. So this type geographical variation will definitely affect on the raw material. That's why in the modern industries recently, almost all the Ayurvedic industries are going to use standardized extracts. We are using standardized extract, by which means we can nullify this geographical variations problem. Okay.
Okay, sir. In many of the cases, we used to conduct TLC and HPTLC, but it
Okay.
is very difficult for each and every individual to interpret it. What are the contents and all? Is there
Okay.
any textbook or is there any marker to identify individually what is the TLC and HPTLC report says?
Okay. Uh, First of all, if you are doing HPTLC, then no need to do TLC because HPTLC is the higher version or the precise version of TLC. Okay. Full form, if you can say the full form, high performance thin layer chromatography. So it is the high performance of the TLC only. So if you are doing, you have to do any one TLC, either HPTLC. Okay. Now, uh, when we are getting the fingerprinting of TLC or HPTLC, there is a confusion to how to evaluate. There is a qualitative and quantify. If there is a quantification, then there is a marker. Okay, I have shown you in the slide. Then if is the marker is there, example, Satawarin 4 is there in my slide. So there is identical peak of Satawarin 4. Okay, and if you have run your sample by the HPTLC, so your spot has to be matched with the Satawarin 4 content. So quantification can be easy by the HPTLC means. But if you are doing the qualitative analysis, then you have to make sure your reference standard. You have to, if you are doing the TLC or HPTLC of Ashwagandha row hub, then you have to botanically identify the row hubs. You have to make it a reference standard that these row hubs is the proper species is there. Pharmacognostical is quietly good, and the quality control tools का एक book है, जो quality controls parameters of Ayurvedic drugs or medicinal plants. Then in that you can compare your profile. Okay, our profile is optimum for this formulation. Now you can compare your reference drug with your the test drug. And if the every spot RF value in TLC or HPTLC, you can get RF value. Okay, retention factor, retention time. So each spot is going to be separate out from the bottom. Okay, so retention time you can match. RF value, if the retention factor, RF factor is matched with the reference standard and the raw material, this sample, then you can say that our sample is identically matched with our standards.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. It is a very wonderful session to have a quality control and quality control in process quality control. So thank you very much, sir, once again. I will take today, sir has highlighted what is the importance of quality control and what are the necessary things we have to come across. The thing is heavy metals and antimicrobials, antimicrobials and the microbial assay to be compulsorily conducted to the each and every preparation to safeguard the quality and also to the safeguard the patient or the person who is consuming it. So whatever when it is a pharmaceutical, the end product should be qualified with all the quality standards, so not to make any adverse event or not to create any havoc situation after the consumption of the medicines. So thank you very much, sir, for your elaborated speech. Today is the last day where we're going to end with the quality control. And this webinar series, we had discussion with the rationality of the formulations, the GMP, then regulatory affairs and IPR. And today we are ending with the session of quality control. The main thing, whatever the quality is decreasing nowadays, it is necessary to be uplifted by each and every person, each and every pharmaceutics, and whatever the research we are coming with, it should have the main not only a quality, it should be quality assured product which can serve to the society without any bias or without any conflicts. So thank you very much. Thank you one and all speakers for your valuable suggestions. And I will take this opportunity to thank our Managing Trustee, Dr. Komal Patel, Madam, who is backbone for all our webinars. I thankful all the speakers of the series, Dr. Lavekar sir, Dr. R.V. Gudi, Dr. Vijendra, Dr. Shashi Bhushan, Dr. Shrikant, and Dr. Hardik Soni sir who have accepted our invitation, although in spite of their busy schedules, and delivered a very beautiful lectures which are mind-blowing and very important for us. I thank our Dean, Dr. Hemant Toshikane sir, for giving me opportunity to host this webinar series. Our beloved principal, Dr. B.G. Kulkarni sir, who has motivated every time for us to conduct the webinar series. I will take this opportunity to thank our technical support, Dr. Navodaya sir and Dr. Harish Daga sir for their technical support. And I thank Mr. Kamalesh Marathe, who is the main behind preparing the flyers and all, and thank him all. And I thank one and all the viewers who are there with us for these 7 days. And I thank you one and all. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.